everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be reacting to and analyzing Intro from Rockstar from Stray Kids, and it's a recording from the studio, which is my all-time favorite format. Stay Fandom was always incredibly super kind to me. Last month I recorded a video that I had to take down because it was basically attacked by guys, and I've taken the video down because I was not in the right mind space. I was going through quite a rough patch, but I promised the huge amount of says that have always supported me that I will continue making reactions to Stray Kids because I personally do love them a lot, especially with idols that I personally love. I really want to show you their shortcomings and their strengths, so when they're gonna work on it in the future, I can show you the difference. I can help you appreciate their work a little more. So now that being said, I hope you're excited for the video because I am, so let's get into it. All right, we're starting strong with Seungmin.
특 활동 시작하기 전에 이걸 벌써 녹음하고 있으니까.
Oh. Pleasant sound.
가자.
이거 빡세게 락스타처럼.
Yes.
Sing it like a rock star.
움직이면 don't stop.
너무 좋아. 너무 좋고 일단 이거 킵해놓고 좀 더 약간 외치듯이 We gon' rock 움직 약간 이런 느낌으로.
오케이 누나 이거 모니터 조금만 올려주세요. We gon' rock 움직이면 don't stop. 됐다.
좋다. 이거
For short tones like this, you have to be very precise and very sharp. So the support is definitely coming through for them here. So and a good resistance. So the tone is really sharp. It doesn't crumble. This is not a tone that we're developing. This is almost a punchy kind of attack on that tone.
Don't stop. Don't stop 아니구나.
Go for rock.
Go for rock. 그거.
Go for rock. We gon' rock. 움직이면 don't stop. Go for rock.
야 여기 we gon' rock.
You can also hear that it's going along with the beat. So you want to be precise. You cannot go longer and it cannot have like an awkward length. It has to be just pop. Just very short, 1 second length of a powerful tone.
락만 좀 더 찍어주자. 락만 찍을게.
Yeah. We gon' rock. 움직이면 don't stop.
미안하다. 미국으로 다시 찍자.
예. 아니 그냥 그 미국 락을 통으로 받아볼까?
아 그래?
We gon' rock. 움직이면 don't. 그 움직이면서 don't stop도 해보자.
아 그래?
움직이면 don't stop.
한 번 더 해보자.
Yes.
뒤에 스탑만 다시 찍어보자.
오케이.
I'm appreciating Seungmin recently very much for attempting some texture. I can relate to him quite a lot because he is a very clean singer. He's been working on his technique for quite some time now, and it's just there's certain like almost mental block, and it works for me too, and a lot of classically trained singers. The first step of starting to use texture is always just it's anxiety inducing. So sometimes I hear him fry a little bit, sometimes it is just a little tiny attempts at the growls, and I like it. I know how much mental power it takes to really kind of put yourself in a mental space where you are like, okay, I will start kind of experimenting with texture.
스탑만 다시 찍어보자. 스탑만.
오케이.
이번에 뒤에 스탑만 다시 찍어보자.
오케이.
좋아.
됐다.
쭉 들어봐.
Yes. We gon' rock. 움직이면 don't stop. Go for rock.
난 좋아. 형 어때?
You can hear it on the
그 호주 아저씨 왔어?
아니 호주하지 않아.
빨리 좀 오라.
Did he just call?
밥 먹으러
Who did he call? Oh, did he just call? Did he just call Bangchan Mr. Australia? I swear, Seungmin is like the bravest idol. He's not scared of anything and anybody.
라만 한 번 다시 해. 그 왜냐면 랄로 끝내지 말고 라로 끝내. 처음 네 개를.
알겠습니다.
라로 끝내.
Notice that I have a lot of tension in that tone. It's on purpose. I think the only person in the band that is singing this like relaxed is Felix to create that contrast. La 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 la. Right, that kind of fuzzy low tone, but the rest of them are La 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 la. So a lot of resistance in that tone to create a contrast towards Felix. And it's just also with a wall of instrumental that you have behind that voice you have to cut through.
됐어.
네.
홍자 아저씨 왔어.
네.
Mr. Australia.
형. Feel the rhythm of the world. Cause
괜찮긴 하거든.
Just feel the rhythm. You can see how he's leaning into every tone. Just feel the rhythm.
뭔 느낌인지 알아? 아, 아직 마음에 안. 좀만 더 잘해볼게.
오케이.
Just feel the rhythm of the world. Cause we.
이걸로 가자.
Cause you have to support it with air. Cause he's been taking lessons. You guys told me in the comments last time that he's been taking lessons and he's been getting harder parts recently. So I'm excited to hear how he is, but he looks so confident. Look at that. He already has so much more confidence this comeback. It's night and day difference. I'm so happy for him. He also feels excited and eager to sing, which is great.
Rock and roll.
어때?
Roar.
춘 할만해?
네.
go 발음하는 것처럼 roll 똑같이 발음하는 거.
Rock and roll.
좋아. rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
그 L 넌 그게 문.
It's because of the language difference. He's closing the R. Rock and roll, right? Well, you need, especially in this kind of high place, because he needs him to sing it in his mix. So he wouldn't strain it from his chest. He needs to find his vowel. So we don't want to close that R too fast. Rock and roll, right? We want rock and roll. We want get that vowel there.
현재 L을 너무.
So he's kind of comparing it to different words so he gets the pronunciation and gets the vowel well.
중요하게 생각해. 중요하게 생각 안 해도 돼. 그냥 row. row로 하면 돼. row.
Rock and roll.
그 정도.
Perfect, good.
row에다가 마지막 그냥 L만 그냥 살짝.
Sometimes when I work with students, I'm like, don't even read the last consonant. And only after they start to do the vowel right, I'm like, okay, now we're gonna add the consonant at the very end of it.
얹히는 느낌?
Rock and roll, we dancing till we fall. No stopping, here we go. No stopping, here we go. Here we go.
Good. I'm happy because he is starting to be more in control of entering his mix. Previously, he usually struggled. He has a pretty pronounced vocal break, which it's a trouble on its own. I've struggled with very pronounced vocal break. It's very hard to get over it. Some people just figure it out very, very well. They're very natural with it and they just get to work with their vocal break very easily. And then there are some people who just vocal break is their biggest enemy. So I completely understand the struggle. Now he is now above his vocal break. He is very, very, very much trying to stay there and keep the tension there. He's mixing it nicely. It's still obvious that it's pretty new for him. He is focusing very heavily on staying in that placement. So you have to count in the placement that is pretty new for him, the resistance that he needs to get in that tone, and the troubled pronunciation, which again, I'm not English native, he's not English native. Sometimes it is really difficult to get the pronunciation right. If I would be singing in Korean, or if you guys would be singing in Japanese, you would have the same struggle. So those three things he's tackling right here.
거의 완전 로우라고 했는데 괜찮았어요?
나쁘지 않았어. 한 번 더 해볼게.
예.
Rock and roll, we dancing till we fall. No stopping, here we go. No stopping, here we go. Here we go.
앞에 락앤롤 너가 약간 긁지는 않았는데 어쨌든 약간 되게
엄청 셌지?
거치게 나오거든.
오케이.
약간 그런 느낌으로 받으면 좋을 것 같아. 오케이.
Rock and roll, we dancing till we fall. No stopping, here we go.
앞에 We Dancing Too 너무 잘했어.
So he has the straight tones are very, very good. Now we usually have an issue where you have the midsection. go. That part is going to be problematic and complicated because now he is in a good placement to keep it up in his mix and keep it really strong and powerful. But then the moment you've got a little bit of a changing melody is where he tends to close up a little bit. You can hear the long tones, great. That little kind of like little lift, that little pickup. This is where he struggles right now, which is what is Bangchan helping him there with as well.
뒤에 이제 이어서 다 받을게요.
오케이.
No stopping, here we go, here we go. 여기.
No stopping, here we go. No stopping, here we go. Here we go.
약간
That was better.
간다.
오케이.
He wants him to do he because he and the h and h. You've got a lot of air support that can get you to the tone much easier.
Here we go. No stopping, here we go. Here we go.
Good, better.
히로 자꾸 여기서는 앞에 받쳐주는 게 없으니까 히로 바로 가니까 그러면 오케이. 히.
Here we go. No stopping, here we go. Here we go.
이 정도.
You can see how he relaxed during the recording if you take the first time he sang this. And towards the end, it was obvious he was like kind of getting more and more comfortable with that placement. That placement is also pretty tricky because it is just around his vocal break, which is probably the most sensitive area. Very well done. I'm happy.
충분 너무 잘했어요. 자, 브리지 갈까요?
And it's also very challenging part, you know? It's a very challenging part. It is right on the edge of his two registers, so I am super happy that he has the confidence to just go into it and do his best, because that's how you really get more experience. That's how you grow. That's how you develop. And he's doing well. I remember when I first heard him at the very, very beginning, he was very shy and timid about his singing. He already has kind of his specialty, right, as a dancer and a choreographer. And he's still kind of like trying to develop himself on all fronts, which is super cool. I can appreciate it because a lot of people just stay very stagnant. Like, this is what I do and that's it. We ain't doing anything else.
너무 낮은데? 어떻게 불러야 되지? 별것 없이 부딪혀 쾅쾅 쳐대자고.
거기서 톤만 조금 더 얻어도 될 것 같아.
I'm living for him recently.
약간 그런 느낌이어도 괜찮을 것 같은데. 약간 현진 스타일로.
Bangchan is actually right, Hyunjin style. Hyunjin style is getting to be a thing recently. I don't know if you've noticed, but he really kind of like created quite of a signature style. While the two people in the group, right, like the Changbin and Han are two that have like very, very strong signature styles for their rap, right? But Hyunjin is like, he said, hold on. Hold my beer, I will create my own. And he did really deliver. Like it has is for style to be actually for a rap or for singing to be able for us to call it a style, it has to have a very like signature things that they repeatedly do, and they're very well adapted into the whole flow. And Hyunjin made it really happen, even though he still has tons of variety, a lot of variety. For example, Changbin has this strong, dark, growly approach, right? Han has tons of fluctuation, animated into it. Those are like two things for both of them that are so typical. But Hyunjin said, let me incorporate a lot of stuff, which I'm happy that he never really limited himself. And then he just progressively started to like figure out like, okay, this is what I'm going to integrate more. This is what I'm going to do more often because people love it. I love it. But he started very broad. Like if you look back into the Maniac era, he's still doing a lot of variety, like almost like all around the place. Like he tried that, he tried that, he tried that. And just recently he started to do this Hyunjin style.
좋아요. 일단 킵할게요. 나 이거 괜찮았어.
별것 없이 부딪혀 쾅쾅 쳐대자고.
이것도 괜찮아요. 와, 씨. 이것도 킵할게요.
Bangchan is flustered.
날 펴라 도시락 즐기면 그만.
일단 뭐 어때 이거
I will praise Changbin forever and ever and ever. And weirdly enough, also as a singer, very heavily. A lot of people are always so surprised when they hear Changbin sing for the first time, but I've mentioned in the last video that I had to take down that Changbin is a good singer. You cannot do style that he's doing with that much texture without having a really stable, clean tone under that. It's kind of like very often I see people who want to do maybe more extreme genres or sometimes J-pop, like things that are very typical for girls and texture, but they do not want to train their singing or their actual tone whatsoever. They just want to like dive right in, right? And that's an issue because you do have to have a stable, clean, balanced tone that is technically right for you to put all the texture on and keep it healthy and sustainable. So, of course, he's a good singer.
저는 괜찮긴 해요.
그래? 잠깐만.
Welcome to Ganglam, 날 펴라, 도시락, 책임져 그만.
I'm always like admiring the amount of just stability that he has in that texture. He's so consistent with it. He doesn't force himself into it. I've seen a couple of rappers across the board just really forcing themselves into this kind of like heavy texture, and it's like it's painful to hear because it's obvious that they just like have to like go really overboard and force their voice into it. They're not doing it fully correctly, while here Changbin is just absolutely adapted to it.
왜 노린 거?
Very admirable for me too. It would be hard for me to even.
여기서 더 하면 도시락 이렇게 해야 돼요. 안 그러면 도시락 이게 답이에요.
아니 그거
Honey.
Bet you never seen a stage like this. 번쩍 더 버리지 눈이 남은 기대를 맞아 털어.
일단 이거 킵해두고 하나만 더 해볼게요.
Yep.
Han is like a movie stunt person in singing. He's so brave with his voice. He does try everything. There was an era where he almost hurt his voice because of the same kind of approach, you know, because he was just, let's do whatever. Let's try everything. Let's do all the crazy stuff. Now he's much more sustainable with his voice. He's just like, okay, yeah, I have to sustain it. I have to keep it. I have to keep it working and keep it healthy. But just from his recordings, you can hear that he tries everything. He's really not scared of any pitch change, like he's gonna just go into hiccup, he's gonna flip in his head voice, he's gonna do whatever just to have fun and kind of integrate all these little fun embellishments in his parts.
Bet you never seen a stage like this. 번쩍 더 버리지 눈이 남은 기대를 맞아 털어. Bet you never seen a stage like this. 번쩍 더 버리지 눈이 남은 기대를 맞아 털어.
He always does this kind of little kitten. When I do it, I sound like a pissed kitten, okay? Do not base it on me. But it's the same way he's getting it. It's like very interesting, like a hiccup, but coming from the frontal space.
애매하구나 꺾이기가. 안 되는구나.
가능?
Right there.
좋을 것 같기는 해.
불편하기보다는.
He also writes his rap to have that.
기대를 맞아 털어. 약간.
문제.
Ooh, that was cool.
Like this. 번쩍 더 버리지 눈이 남은 기대를 맞아 털어.
들어보겠습니다.
일단 하나 뒤 좋은 것 같은데?
얍. 얍. 맷던 허리띠 너 꽉. 이야. 그 앞에 하니 거부터 틀어주면 감사하겠습니다.
Mr. Australia.
형이라서 이어지려면은 형이 굳이 여기서 세게 나올 필요가 없어요. 민호 형도 살짝 그렇게 막 세게 나오지도 않아서.
그래?
그리고 노래가
Okay.
계속 세가지고 괜찮아요.
It's about the whole dramaturgy and composition too. If you have variety of voices, they as a producers have to work to make them match. It's not just slapping different parts together and letting them sing it the way they want to. That's very challenging on a group singing, basically, or being a singer in the group, is that you cannot be, it's great to be individualist, but at the same time, you have to be the team player and you have to accommodate all the other voices too. You have to make it work together. So individualism, great, but at the same time, you have to also just kind of match everyone else's energy and translate the energy of the song out that the producer wants. So hard.
맷던 허리띠도 꽉 메고 움직여 쉴 새 없겠죠.
그냥 자연스럽게 이렇게 흘러가는 게 더 나아요.
그래?
Also taking consideration the tone quality, Han's tone quality is very, very bright. Very, very bright and very squeaky. Squeaky, right? And Bangchan's natural tone is a little bit of a huskiness. So even if he would try to clean it up like perfectly, he's not gonna sound like Han. It's gonna be the typical Bangchan's slightly husky. He has a roundness in his voice. So again, when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, my voice is too nasal, it's too bright, it's too dark, whatever," your voice is pretty. Your voice is fine. You're gonna do great in what's gonna be the best for you. And just like Bangchan is the best at his like roundness and like a little warmth in his voice, Han is on the literally another part of the spectrum, which is very powerful, squeaky, and just really sharp.
다시 해볼게요. 네.
맷던 허리띠도 꽉 메고 움직여 쉴 새 없겠죠.
이걸로 가시죠. 좋아요 이거.
괜찮아?
네.
This is great to record from the conversational style. So if you want to sing that with a power, you should first try to actually really say ta-na-na-na-na, ta-na-na-na-na, ta-na. You're gonna enter to the space of your voice that is comfortable for you at that pitch, and then you're gonna incorporate the melody. It's kind of like conversational style into the singing. Felix.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
그리고 라라라.
I will never get over him. Never. It's just a difference. La 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 la. And then you get Felix with that. Oh my god.
La la la.
La 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 la.
Oh, okay. I love the texture. I like that he didn't even try it without the texture. He immediately went for that texture there. And it's a really cool sounding one. It's not necessarily a growl. It's more of like a wet fry.
그리고 라라라라 락 안 해도 돼. 그냥 라라라라라 everything is just la.
La la la.
I love how they switch into English just for further explanation.
La 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 la.
좋아요. 자, 한번 받아볼게요.
Oh, good thing to know that it's divided. It's not actually all together, but it's la 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 la. I wouldn't have noticed that probably in the song.
La 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 la.
Now this was more going into the girl, but Jesus Christ.
다시 해도 될까요?
근데 진짜 잘했어.
아 괜찮아요?
잘했어. 진짜 잘하긴 했어.
Oh my god.
잘못 긁어가지고.
근데 이런 에너지는 너무 좋아.
이렇게
센 에너지는 있어야 좀 신날 것 같아.
La 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 la.
아까
He's like kind of fluctuating. I'm not sure what Bangchan exactly wants from this. If he wants more texture or what do we want?
마지막 라 조금 더 길어야 될 것 같아.
Yeah.
라라.
I think it's the phrasing more, which it's a stupid little phrase, but the phrasing is obviously very particular from the producer's side. So
라라 라라라라. 그렇지만 그 정도. 딱 그
원,
정도.
투. 오케이. 다시 할게요.
Yep.
La 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 la.
okay,
이거 너무 잘했는데.
a little less texture. It's funny that how much Felix just learned how to work around his voice. He has a deep voice. That's great. That's a fact. But again, he really taught himself, or I'm not sure if he does have a vocal coach, but this is the texture applying has to also feel very good. It cannot be something that it's uncomfortable. And he does know how to, or learned how to work with a variety of texture. A little bit of fry, heavy fry, wet fry, growls, and then he knows how to really soften his voice up in the low spaces. And we know exactly when it hits you like a truck. So you've got that really aggressive approach, but then you have this, he knows how to really soften it up to make it so fuzzy and so warm that you just like, you feel like your soul is like melting. Oh my god, I love his voice. I know everybody does, but like I'm obsessed for years now.
La 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 la. Okay. La 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 la.
He's even breathing there. So you could just stop for a second and like disconnect the phrase, but he's also taking a tiny little bit of a breath there.
La 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 la.
Similar approach as Sangmin had. So a little restricted. La la la. Right there.
Oh baby please don't hurt me. 도랑 그 사이로 발음해 주고요. Oh baby please don't hurt me. Hurt me.
It's funny because Changbin could look literally pass as an R&B singer.
Hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 마. 약간 햇도 약간
Good job.
그지? 못 지웠지만.
약간 우리 중학생 때 K-pop 그런 느낌.
완전 가요뽕으로 불러주면 돼. 가볼게요.
Oh baby please don't hurt me 날 울리지 마 널 사랑했던 마음을 아직 못 지웠지만
Girl, that was very solid. That was very solid. My boy is making like actual leaps forward. That was so stable. He worked with air very smart as well. So you've got a little underbreath. So that at the end of every phrase, it's very R&B, like we know that. We just decided we're gonna put Lino in his most uncomfortable placements and challenge him because this is a difficult placement for him. He's not going into his head voice or falsetto, but this is way too high for his chest voice, so he has to be really nicely balancing it. He's utilizing his air in a very smart way as well too.
너무 잘한다 근데.
Very good placement forward too, so he's not trying to swallow that sound. No, the half air, half clean tone. I'm impressed. Paint me impressed.
처음 들어갈 때 Oh baby
Oh baby
감정은 있는데 감정은 진짜 약간 가냘픈데 들어갈 때 약간 힘은 또 있어야 돼.
오케이.
Oh baby please don't hurt me. hurt me 때 살짝 밀어주고 hurt me 밀어주고 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑해 좀 더 밀어줘. 해.
널 사랑했던 마음을 아직
오케이, 햇 밀어.
했던 마음 이거 약간 밴딩 있어요. 못 지웠지만 만도 많이 밀어줘야 돼.
I'm like,
길이를 늘려.
give me a second. I'm like,
그
shook.
감정 자체를.
I'm happy, you know.
못 지웠지만
오케이.
예.
Oh baby please don't hurt me 날 울리지 마 널 사랑했던 마음을 아직 못 지웠지만
Good, very good. So what Changbin wanted him to do is in the lower spaces to reconnect a tiny bit more into his chest. So the kind of like last parts of the words and of the tiny little but with a tiny little bit more pressure on the tone, so the tone is cleaner, so almost like a little bit more airy into clean. It sounds a little bit more balanced, and he applied it so well.
지웠지만 때 조금 더 발음 씹어줬으면 좋겠다.
오케이. 못 지웠지만.
Also, yeah, with this kind of half air, half clean tone, you have to be careful about your consonants. You don't want it to start to feel very diluted. You want to find your consonants. So your phrasing has to still be very clean or it's going to get too fuzzy. So you see, like, so impact on the second word.
한번 더 해볼게요.
Yep.
Oh baby please don't hurt me 날 울리지 마 널 사랑했던 마음을 아직 못 지웠지만
Very well. Oh my god, I'm so proud.
Baby
어디?
Baby.
오 베이비. 오케이.
좀 더 베이비 약간 베이비스럽게.
오케이, 베이비스럽게.
Oh baby please don't hurt me
비가 좀 너무 세게 나와서.
Oh baby please don't hurt me
들어볼게요.
Okay.
Oh baby please don't hurt me 날 울리지
잘했다.
Nice. I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed by Lino. He's done leaps. And also you can see that it's not something that he's been training this. He's been rehearsing. A lot of people think that people, when you see the recordings from behind, from the studios, that they just come and sing the phrases for, I don't know, third or fourth time, just trying it out. They do rehearse them in advance very, very much. And his rehearsal, so freaking well done. Like, he rehearsed them, he cleaned them up. He done very well with both the intense parts and also with this one particularly. I'm just like super happy. Well done.
아, 너무 잘했다.
I'm so happy because like literally my two biases are Lino and Felix, and I'm just so proud of both of them recently. But it's so obvious that Lino really did started to apply heavily what the vocal coach is telling them, and he is integrating it. Sometimes you do very, very well on the lessons, and then when you're about to perform or apply everything that you've learned, it's so difficult. It can be very, very tricky, but he looks like he's very naturally integrating it and doing very well with it, so I'm happy.
톤을 조금 더 부드럽게 해도 될 것 같아.
저 따뜻한 온기를 안고서 지지 않은 꽃을 피우길 바래.
조금 더 약하게 할 수 있어도 좋아.
약간 노래 부르듯이.
더 따뜻한 온기를 안고서 지지 않은 꽃, 약간 허스키하게 들어가도 될 것 같아.
저 따뜻한 온기를 안고서 지지 않은 꽃을 피우길 바래.
오케이.
저 따뜻한 온기를 안고서 지지 않은 꽃을 피우길 바래.
This is the versatility of Hyunjin, and they wanted him to go a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, but still with a clean tone, so he's not like nothing diluted in air. He's still keeping it with his tone quality. Like you can still hear the typical Hyunjin voice, but he's softening it up so
완전 좋아.
so nice.
다음 갈게.
네. 내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나그 파나가 내려와 앉아
내려와 앉아.
내려와 앉아.
오케이.
내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나그 파나가 내려와 앉아.
Good, because before he was trying to sing that last one, da 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 da, but it was a little too low for his range. So sometimes it's better to just da 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 da. It's almost like a sigh, da, and that's it. Sounds better.
난 만족스 일단. 킵하고 몇 번 더 가볼게. 2번 정도.
내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나그 파나가 내려와 앉아. 너무 속삭였나?
그 앞에는 내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나가 파나가 내려와 앉아. 자만 약간 자.
Again, with a very soft stuff, phrasing is super important because again, you're gonna lose any kind of pacing in the song if it's gonna be too soft. So even soft singing, you still have to. It has to be very clear.
내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나그 파나가 내려와 앉아.
잠깐만 들어볼게요.
내가 앉은 벤치 그 옆에 나그 파나가 내려와 앉아.
I find it so cute that the balladic song of the whole bunch was recorded and produced by Changbin. People are so surprised by his voice and singing, and I'm like, yeah, I told you.
이게 한번 그냥 불러봐봐.
네, 좋아요.
서로를 위해서라고 내뱉는 말을 책임져야 한다고 I'm sorry.
잠시만요.
He helps himself with the phrasing of that. It's just so cute. Everybody else has something else. Like people have like a little wands. People use hands. People use a variety. We are very audiovisual beings, so do try. If you do have a problem with rhythm or pacing or phrasing, this helps.
서로를 위해서라고 내뱉는 말을 책임져야 한다고 I'm sorry. 불러지진 둘의 상처.
다시 할게요. 들어볼게요.
서로를 위해서라고 내뱉는 말을 책임져야 한다고 I'm sorry. 불러지진 둘의 상처.
So soft.
상처가.
This is exactly the one that I was talking about. The one that is melting your soul, literally.
처음 한번 찍어볼게.
네. 부러지진 둘의 상처.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Nice.
릭스 넘어가자.
아 네.
예.
일단은 불러봐야 될 것 같고.
Yep.
You know how sometimes being like emotionless makes things more sad. 약간 그런 느낌? 그래서 무감정 느낌으로 한번 불러도 될 것 같아.
오케이. 지금 한번 해볼게요.
Alright.
허전한 이 맘을 벌써 들켰나봐.
이거 아깝다. 이것도 일단 킵할게요.
오케이.
It's really interesting. Sometimes I learn quite a lot from producers that do sit in the recording studio, and because I do work with the people in the recording studios as well, but you still find people who have been working with recording, particularly not vocal coaching, but particular recording of singers, and they know how to put you in such a specific mood. Like when he said, like, you know how when you're emotionless, sometimes it's even more sad than when you're actually sad. Like, it's half of a psychology, honestly. What do you think about it? Because it's your job to get a person in a very specific mood for a very specific sound. So Changbin, Bangchan, and Han have to be like literally a little psychologist right there.
Yep.
허전한 이 맘을 벌써 들켰나봐.
오.
That was very kind of lethargic almost.
허전한 이 맘을 벌써 들켰나봐.
두 번째가 좀 더 연결한 느낌.
그래? 두 번째로 갈까? 오케이.
I think it's because of the vowel. Because he's relaxing his lower jaw quite a lot. So he gets that ananda, da, a kind of little narrow, kind of little lethargic sound into it. And the second part has at the very end. So I think it's a little bit better pronounced.
끝. 벌써부터 갈게.
Out there.
그러면 훅부터가?
형이 원하는 대로 해줘.
죽대기 안 살래 진짜.
그래서 난 형이 원하는 대로 해줬으면 좋겠어.
아예.
It's funny that Ian has such a deep voice. His voice is really like descending recently.
좋았어. 훅 가볼게. 훅.
네.
야 이거 기대감이 엄청 커 이거 지금.
가볼게.
아이담 듣고 갈게.
오케이.
This is very soft for Ian. Also, Ian, Ian's a good singer. I think Seungmin's been a big bro to him in this whole singing journey. I always said that I'm super happy that Ian has just so many good examples. Also, Bangchan included, Han, Seungmin, all the people in the group that already came in with the singing, with the singing capabilities, and they really did adapt it a lot from them. So you can hear, for example, I hear a lot of Seungmin singing style, particularly in Ian's singing style, which is healthy for him. That's really, really good. He sings it very similar to how Seungmin would sing it.
찬이 형 약간 위한 약간 이렇게.
Yeah, we're done.
그렇게 발음은 그렇게 하지 말고.
That phrase is so brutal.
약간 그
너를 위한 날 위한 결말.
그렇지.
That's supported with a little bit of, not supported, but underlined with a little bit of an air, which is making it kind of softer on those high tones. So instead, da 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 da, kind of this very restricted, ta da ta ta da ta ta ta, a little bit of an air. Get there.
좋다.
Oh baby please stop for me 더 내돌지 마 너를 위한 날 위한 결말.
That was beautiful. Oh, that was beautiful and so sensitive. The way he conducted the entire phrase was, he was dancing on the very sharp edge there. That was so pretty how he worked with air there. Oh my god, he softened it up, but didn't completely sing it completely airy. He still kept that. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Let me hear it one more time. I'm sorry, I know this is gonna be a long video, but come on, whatever.
Oh baby please stop for me 더 내돌지 마 너를 위한 날 위한 결말.
That 하근이 하나 하 The way he worked with that air for his profit there was beautiful. Not profit, for his benefit. Oh my god, my English brain is not braining.
예윌던만. 그 예윌던 때 마지막에 Yeah we're done. 약간 이렇게 끝나니까 Yeah we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
던을 확실히 끝내줘.
네, 알겠습니다.
마무리를 잘해줘.
Yeah, we're done.
아닌데.
좋은데?
A little bit cleaner pronunciation. Yeah, we're done.
오, 야, 이거.
Oh baby, please stop for me. 더 눈을지 마.
I love his movement.
날 위한 결말. Yeah, we're done.
Nice.
너무 잘했어.
약간 무감정.
He has a little bit more movement of out. So turn and turn, turn, which is always good because you're trying to emit the sound out. Usually I use this technique of like outer movement with hands for people who tend to swallow their sound. So they have problems with emitting the sound out. They either have a clenched jaw, or they do not open their jaw properly, or they have very swallowed. So we don't get that. I'm trying to help them with like outs. Let's go out with the sounds.
You know?
Okay.
무감정이 더 슬픈 느낌.
In with the emotions, out with the sound.
Nice. Very good. 일단 킵하고 한 번 더 해볼게요.
Yes.
A little restriction. Oop. It's a little flat there.
이것도 좋은데?
That was pretty.
이것도 킵하고
네.
우리 이인이가 마음에 드는 거 골라봅시다.
예.
And the first one was.
전 2번이요.
2번. 나도 2번.
Yes.
오케이.
I was just about to say I like the first one more.
리브 녹음날입니다. 바람막이 읽고 왔는데
The menace.
소리가 나야 돼서.
The menace.
뭐부터 할래? 순서대로 할게요.
오케이.
Oh baby, please. Oh baby, please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 맘을 아직 못 지웠지만.
승민아.
네.
Oh baby,
He's singing it a little bit more
please don't
belty.
hurt me.
여기 돈 헐미가 다 이어지거든? 그거 좀 띄워줬으면 좋겠어. 돈 헐미.
알겠습니다.
Oh baby, please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 맘을 아직 못 지웠지만.
들어보자. 좋은데요?
I like the little vibrato. Ma.
Don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 맘을 아직 못 지웠지만.
뒷줄 완벽해 나는. 그 뒤에 두 마디 너무
I like the ma. Like just a tiny, like 2 waves of the vibrato before we get that little cry at the end. Oh my god.
앞에가 뒤에처럼 리듬이 좀 나와야 돼.
네네. 통으로 한 2개만 더 해보자.
싫은데?
아니야. 페이크로 살려도 돼.
일단 앞에 따고서 갈게. 앞에 따고서 통으로 몇 개 받아볼게.
예.
Mr. Australia, please sit down.
Oh baby, please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던
100점.
Sudden girl. Those underbreaths are so pretty on those hiccups and like cries.
5만 한번 찍어도 돼?
네.
5만 한번 찍을게.
네네네.
Seungman is just in and out. In and out. So clean. He's literally that type that goes in a booth and just takes 2 to 3 takes tops. Because you always have to have variety. If somebody tells you that it went inside and recorded 1 line and that was it, and that's the magic, that's how it happened, on the first try, probably not. That's probably a hearsay story, you know? But because every producer is going to demand at least like 2 or 3 lines. So they have a variety when they're going to be mixing the sound all together. But exactly the Seungmin, like he goes inside, he do 2-3 lines, he's done. He's done. He has it so perfectly rehearsed too.
좋아요.
Done. We're good. Finished.
I'm afraid. I'm in pain. I'm okay.
허전한 마음이 벌써 들켰나봐 이 벤치에 앉아.
Oh my god.
A lonely lips sits right next to me.
어떠냐?
Pretty. So it's really difficult for those short phrases. I'm okay. I'm alright. You have to create the entire level of dynamics there. That is not too overpowering, but it still has the emotional value, and to translate it into those short lines, oh, difficult.
Okay.
I'm in pain. I'm okay. 허전한 마음이 벌써 들켰나봐 이 벤치에 앉아. A lonely leaf sits right next to me.
Perfect. 너무 잘했어.
No restriction, nothing, so pretty. This was a little bit more relaxed. You can see that for the last take, he always goes with something a little bit more different, to just take one more that is a little bit more maybe experimental. So you can see that he was holding it very tight. Dun, 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 dun. And the second round, we've got a little bit more openers, a little bit more space. Dun, da, dun, da, dun, da, 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 dun, da.
야 벤치가
네.
너무 먹어버리면서.
아 알겠습니다.
뭔 말인지 알지? 다 좋았어. 방금 좋았잖아. 방금 완전 좋았어. 됐네.
I love his sneaky little vibrato, just a tiny little bit. Ready.
거의 오케이네 오케이. I'm okay, I'm okay 저거 써야 돼요. 뭐?
I'm afraid. I'm in pain. I'm okay.
이거 너무 좋아요. 오케이인데? 지금요? 응. 그냥 오케이예요.
I'm okay.
마음이 있으니까.
I understand the difference. Bangchan is, you know, English native, so he is more focusing on how this pronunciation sounds, because he's pronouncing it a little bit like okay, I'm okay, right? But while Changbin is more, because he's not English native, he's hearing more the emotion in that phrase, and he loves the emotion. So even though Bangchan likes the emotion, he's kind of like not sure if the pronunciation is gonna sound good because it's more okay, while Changbin is like, no, we have to keep this because it just sounds right, and like I feel good from that phrase. It's cool to see this happen.
첫 줄을?
괜찮은데 조금 더 덤덤하게 한번 불러볼게요.
아 그래?
I'm afraid. I'm in pain. I'm okay.
Nice.
이거 어때?
좋은데? 창빈 씨가 그 I'm okay 아까 중 너무 좋아하는 거 하나 있는데
네네.
그 안 바꾸면 안 죽겠다고 해서 너무 좋아서.
맞짱 떠. 맞짱 떠.
나도 I'm okay 좋아. 지금 것도 좋은데.
맞짱 떠.
다시 들을게요.
I see where we have an issue.
I'm okay.
이게 좀 힘 있는 거, 그리고 새로 녹음한 거.
I'm afraid. I'm in pain. I'm okay.
이걸로 하시죠. 이걸로 하시죠. 네, 이걸로 하시죠.
Okay, so who budged? I think Changbin budged, right? Yeah. It's almost criminal to hear Han in this relaxed voice. Almost unrecognizable. But his phrasing is immaculate.
Oh baby please stop for me. 더는 울지 마. 너를 위한 날 위한 결말. Yeah, we're done.
It's really kind of flabbergasting to me, to be fair, to hear him sing like this, because his singing style is more pop rock. It's very typical for him. R&B has a lot of dynamic fluctuations. Yeah, we're done. A little restrictions, a lot of air, and Han is not definitely not the type of guy. So it's really fun to hear him trying to adapt to that. And again, like his voice is hardly recognizable. It's so much fun.
근데 여기 이거 다 이어야 되지. 근데
it's cool to see him trying to use it, that kind of like whiny air.
그 소리만 살짝 좀 그
너를 위한 날 위한 결말.
그것만 해주면 돼.
Ooh, but he's nailing it.
너를 위한 날 위한 결말.
별말하고 숨 없이 예wil던까지 갈게.
It's still more leaning into the rock than into that R&B. He's trying to, because you have to have that kind of like right? He's trying to do that. It's sounding good, but I can still see that it's that rock that is. It's pretty though.
Oh baby please stop for me. 저는 울지마 찍을게. Oh baby please stop for me. 저는 울지마 너를 위. 완전 한이다. 좋았다.
Yes. 저 훅부터 할게요.
오케이.
I think why he said it's totally Han is that because this is not his natural sound, this is not how he usually sings, but I think for Han is incredibly important that even if he is singing a different style or in a different genre song, like this one, for example, he loses his typical Han sound, and he still kept that kind of like typical Han quality. So Changbin was trying to just let him know that, hey, like, yeah, this sounds like you. It's in the correct style, it sounds great, it sounds, you know, more romantic, more lyrical, but it still sounds like you. I like the confirmation. It's super cute because you can see the dynamic between them.
안 높다고!
갈게요.
check it.
Oh baby please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 맘을 아직 못 지웠지만.
He cannot help that texture. You could hear a little bit of a fry there coming through, but oh my god. Changbin for the R&B king. I swear. I think he only has 2 modes. Let's pretend that he only has 2 modes. He is either R&B king and he's probably living some secret life somewhere else, being a complete R&B king, and then he has his Changbin rapper version. He knows his voice very well. He's a very good vocal technician because he does know how to apply a tons of texture, but it has to be applied healthily for it to be sustainable. So his singing is super solid under that. He understands his voice and he understands his tones. Oh my god, my sound is speaking from him. That was very pushed.
Please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 마음을 아직 못 지웠지만.
So he's using a lot of restriction. Don't hurt me. Right there, which is fitting for that phrase. But if you would want to go higher, it would start to stop him. And it would start to be really under the pitch there, which when he went up for fun, it was starting to be a little under the pitch because the amount of restriction was not allowing him to ascend to that tone. It was just for fun.
Oh, baby. 오케이. 이렇게 부르면 되는 거지?
Let him have his pose. Everybody has their pose.
이렇게 부르면 되는 거잖아.
Oh, baby.
복고 하고 싶은데.
복고 해.
이거 못 써요. 화이팅.
너 뒤로 쓰면 괜찮은데.
Whiting.
Oh baby please don't hurt me. 날 울리지 마. 널 사랑했던 마음을 아직 못 지웠지만.
Oof, oh my god. You know what? I'm actually changing my opinion. It could be R&B, but he would be also really cool in like country too. The hiccups are not there.
바로 갈게요.
이해라는 노력으로
이런 미련은 영으로 끝내야 아픔이 전에 슬픔 그 전에 감동 너는 삶 자신 없어 이게 속내야 드러내지 못해 더 차갑게 뱉은 말투.
I find it fascinating how they know how to work with sound. All 3 producers, they just know. They are also 3 of the guys that do understand how the sound is gonna change in the tiniest, smallest little timbre changes, how it's gonna change the entire face of the song. So they're very particular about it. It's always so much fun to see them work, honestly.
이런 미련은 영으로 끝내야 아픔이 전에 슬픔 그 전에 감동 너는 삶 자신 없어 이게 속내야 드러내지 못해 더 차갑게 뱉은 말투. 아 숨 쉬는 걸 못 끝냈다. 까먹었다.
breathing in this type of like very chained phrasing is so difficult. What I always tell to people, try to keep your cup half full. So definitely never waste your entire air out. But again, in a rap, it's very different. It's very different than in singing, because in singing you need tons of support. In rap, at the end of the day, you do need support too, but there is also the final effect of the phrasing and of the lines is more important than that. So breathe where you can. And the last one.
I'm afraid, I'm in pain, I'm okay. 허전한 마음이 벌써 들켰나봐. 이 벤치에 앉아. A lonely leaf sits right next to me.
His husky voice is just very good for this song. It has his melancholy in it, like almost automatically. And Bang Cheng knows how to emit emotion very well. So just leave it on him to put that final kind of tint of color into that blue if you need something really kind of melancholic.
킵하고 몇 번 더 해볼게. I can do it. I'm afraid, I'm in pain, I'm okay. 허전한 마음이 벌써 들켰나봐. 이 벤치에 앉아. A lonely leaf sits right next to me.
A lot of very pronounced cries there. I think he's going a little too careful in it. He's trying to be super soft with it, but you know, it's gonna fit him anyways. So he can go full in.
I'm in pain, I'm okay.
Good.
허전한 마음이 벌써 들켰나봐. 이 벤치에 앉아. A lonely leaf sits right next to me.
Yeah, I like there's more tension in it. That was very very sweet. All right, we've got this. An extremely long video that I do not regret making that long. I know this is a long video. I know that YouTube algorithm is gonna punish me for that one. So maybe if you can share it with your friends and just, you know, spread the word about this video, it's gonna be super helpful, because YouTube algorithm tends to punish me a little bit for long videos, and also sometimes do not show my videos to Stace. So hopefully this one is gonna reach its audience, because again, this was super fun. I do love to watch them in the studio. I also really enjoy watching the producers work. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe right here. Here's the video that YouTube actually recommends for you, and here is the rest of my Stray Kids videos. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.